Hey, welcome to this week's In the Shop with Scott, where I start a new project. So while on a road trip to East Tennessee, I stopped by Jeffries Wood Works and picked up about 18 board feet of 6/4 Curly Quarter-sawn White Oak to make the top. Get this all milled up and make it usable. Here we go. The first step was to run the boards across the joiner to get a flat and square edge to work from. Then I installed a ripping blade from CMT Tools on the table saw. With the blade set to 90 degrees, I ripped each board to the desired width. In total, the desktop is 24 inches wide. Back on the joiner, I flattened one face of each board. Normally I would do this first, but the boards were slightly wider than the joiner. With a flat face and both edges square and parallel, I used the planer to flatten and level the final face. Now that all the prep work was done, I could glue and clamp the desktop together. I also clamped a couple pieces on the ends to keep the boards aligned. After this had dried for a couple days, I used a card scraper to remove the dried glue. I moved on to sanding out the top and the bottom of the desk. Some quick pencil squiggles helps to make sure you sand nice and evenly. It was time to cut the top to length. I used my track saw for this, but I didn't notice that the other end of the hose had come loose. So much for a nice dust collection setup when you miss the basics sometimes. Using a radius guide, I eased the corners with a router and flush trim bit. Then moved on to rounding over the top and bottom edges. The top was a bit big for the laser engraver, so I pulled out the old school branding iron. I do enjoy watching the smoke as it burns in my logo. Using the legs as a guide, I marked where I needed to drill the holes for the nut inserts. I'll use these to bolt the legs on later. I drilled them out with a spade bit. I could now move on to spraying the finish. I decided to go with multiple coats of Total Boat's Gleam Varnish. This really brought out the beautiful grain of the wood and should hold up for a long time. Once the varnish was dry, it was time for final assembly. I screwed in the nut inserts. These came with the legs from Bear Hollow Supply. I'm really impressed with the quality of these cast aluminum legs. To keep with the industrial look, I sourced steel drawers from Global Industrial Supply. They were blue, so I painted them black prior to installing. I added the keyboard tray that I purchased from Amazon. It was a little tricky to find the exact size I needed to fit between the drawers. I added 3 holes spaced along the back edge to route wiring so the desk could stay uncluttered. And then I put cable management trays underneath. There are links in the description for the legs, drawer, keyboard, and cable trays. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.